Napoli, capital of Campania in southern Italy, where hustle and bustle combines with serenity and joie de vivre. A city that has given its name to a gulf and 3 famous islands. The Centro Storico Monumentale is located around the harbour. The Piazza Del Plebiscito embodies both grandeur and vastness, in contrast to the narrow confines of the Old Town. This huge space was brought to life by various kings of Naples. On one side of the square is the Chiesa San Francesco di Paola, a church of victory that was built by Ferdinand in 1815 following the return of the Bourbons. Modelled on the Pantheon of Rome. The statues represent religion, the Holy Castilia, and Paola and Maria. Here, Swiss architect Pietro Bianchi created a masterpiece. Opposite the Palais Real is an exterior facade and niches that contain the statues of the past 8 rulers of Naples. Each of them ruled Naples, from Roger the Norman to King of a united Italy, Vittorio Emanuele II. On the corner of the square is the Café Gambrinus, a well-known meeting place of politicians, artists and composers. Next, the Galleria Umberto Mall, with its impressive roof constructed of iron and glass, and elegantly patterned marble floor. Luxury symbolized Italy's brave new era. Close to the harbour is the mighty Castel Nuovo, its graceful entrance arch seemingly hemmed in by 2 awkward-looking towers. Its construction began during the reign of Charles I, but Alfons of Aragon subsequently had the castle completely rebuilt. In the 14th century, both political and cultural life took place here, and the Sala dei Baroni indicates this former centre of power. From the centre of the town, a small causeway leads to the tiny island of Borgo Santa Lucia. Fishermen once lived here in huts. Now it's fine restaurants and chic yachts. The island is dominated by a building which in ancient times was the residence of Lucullus, the Castel Dell Ovo, the oldest fortress in Naples. It began as a monastery, but under the Normans, Hohenstaufen and the lords of Anjou and Aragon, the building was transformed. Following a siege, Ferdinand II of Spain almost completely destroyed the entire building. In 1503, the castle took on its present-day appearance. The Via Partenope, with its magnificent buildings and luxury hotels on the coast near Santa Lucia, developed by land reclamation in the 19th century. A walk along the Caracciolo coastal road towards Mergellina passes the Parco Communale, with palm trees, sculptures and fountains. The former royal garden was intended only for the aristocracy. The Zoological Station Park was established in 1872. It is the oldest aquarium and marine research institute in Europe, founded by German zoologist Felix Anton Dorn. At various weekends, the flea market takes place in the park. It attracts many visitors who come to gaze at the kitsch products on offer and perhaps be tempted to buy. Within an elegant arc along the Gulf of Naples, the Via Francesco Caracciolo contains a magnificent multicolored row of houses. The promenade ends in Mergellina, an old fishing quarter. Between the landing stages of the marina, there is little space for the few remaining fishermen who go about their daily work tending to their nets and boats. From here, many people left Naples in the hope of a better life elsewhere. However, since the time of the Lords of Anjou, this has been a romantic setting. Early in the morning, the first ferries bring passengers, goods and vehicles to the various islands in the Gulf of Naples. First, the Isola di Procida. Loading and unloading takes place with the minimum delay, and cars, people and goods exchange places and the ferry leaves port once again. Measuring 4 square kilometres, Procida is the smallest island off Naples. Densely populated and with a long history. The site of the picturesque Marina Grande at the Cattolocio Ferry Port typifies relaxed island life. Religious seamen built churches and houses here, up steep slopes, to the old town of Terra Murata, the walled country. Closely packed together, a mosaic of citadel, palace, monastery and houses, on tough rock at 90 meters above sea level. Terra Murata began in the 16th century under Alfons Of Aragon, who made Castle Hill secure, in order to protect the islanders from pirate raids. The buildings in the narrow streets are unmistakably Arabian. The former hunting grounds of the Bourbons became a holiday destination for the residents of Naples. The ferry leaves port and sails along the coast once again, past the fort to the next island. Ischia, the island of Titan Tiphoios. The largest of the 3 islands in the Gulf of Naples, each one now being a popular tourist destination. Situated on the fortified quay, colourful buildings welcome those arriving in Porto, capital of the island. The village of Ponte is still home to fishermen, who offer their tasty daily catch on the pier. Here they mend their nets and repair their colourful boats. The village is connected to the island of Castello Aragonese by a causeway. Since ancient times, this location has been used as a fortress. The ruins of the castle, settlement, churches and monasteries feature numerous architectural styles. The island's volcanic and mineral-containing hot springs and fumarolan fields attract millions of visitors from around the world. But life on the coast between Ponte and Porto has remained unchanged. A picture postcard idyll. Ischia's wide streets and vibrant waterfront reveal a popular tourist destination, and excursion boats are moored in front of typical harbour-side restaurants. The Isola Verde is rightly known as the Green Island. In addition to its hot springs, the lush vegetation is a splendid sight. Cliff walls drop steeply to the sea, and settlements nestle on each spare plot of land. Magical fishing villages, such as Sant'Angelo, enchant with their white and pastel-coloured Moorish buildings, crowded together close to the volcanic cliffs. Forio, the second largest community on the island, is a centre for the wine trade, with medieval towers and full of Mediterranean charm. The ferry manoeuvres with impressive accuracy through the narrow opening of the harbour and leaves Ischia and its ancient palaces and villas. Soon the mainland can be seen again, and the port of Naples with its huge cruise ships off Castel Nuovo. Italy's most fascinating city is truly well worth a visit. We enter through Porta Capuano in the centre of Naples, Europe's largest ancient town. The Centro Storico Antico, a fine world of both myth and reality. San Gennaro indicates the route to his city. He was once a bishop here and today is worshipped as a patron saint. Castel Capuano rises up into the sky. It was built in 1165 by the Normans in order to deter possible invaders. Today, it's the Palace of Justice. The Via dei Tribunali is one of the three main streets that originated in antiquity and gave structure to the town. Around 1400, sacred Gothic buildings originated along this important lifeline of the city. The Duomo di San Gennaro is one of the most famous. Karl I of Anjou, brother of the French king Ludwig XIV, had the cathedral built above an early Christian church. The main nave has a panelled Baroque ceiling with pictures, and the cupola of the cappella is decorated with frescoes by Lanfranco. The cathedral contains the bones of the city's patron saint and the tombs of former regents. The The left nave leads to the Santa Ristuta Basilica that was extensively renovated in the 17th century. It leads to the oldest baptistry in the Occident. There are churches everywhere, such as San Giorgio Maggiore. The Spacca Napoli is one of the city's 3 Greek-Roman streets. Several sections of various streets have been joined together to form one long street. A small side street, the Via Gregorio Armeno, is known as the Alley of the Christmas Cribs. A unique collection of small shops in which the famous crib makers of Naples have their workshops and sell their works of art. The alleys of the old town are narrow, but everywhere there are churches jammed in between the numerous buildings. Amid the tangled alleys is hidden the San Lorenzo Maggiore church with an inner courtyard and cloister. The largest monastery in Naples is thought to have been the setting in which Boccaccio met his Fametta, and also where the city officials held their meetings. The archaeological complex of the church colourfully features the city's history. An ancient commercial Roman street above which the monastery complex was built. Karl I of Anjou chose French Gothic design with elements of Mediterranean architecture. Where once the ancient agora of Napoli stood, Saint Cajetan invites us to visit the early Baroque basilica that was named after him. Alongside a mighty external staircase, merchants display their wares. The interior of the upper church was altered by Francesco Grimaldi. A temple of the Dioscuri was transformed into a Christian basilica. With typical Baroque abundance. Francesco Solimena, Naples' most important artist of that time, created this splendor. In 800 AD, the former temple was consecrated as a church by St. Paulus and retained its Roman architecture. The crypta is accessible from the street. As in other Christian churches, there are numerous altars and tombs. A sarcophagus is the final place of rest for Saint Cajetan. On our journey through the old town, we passed the church of the Gerardamini di San Felipe Neri, an order that was built according to Tuscan Renaissance style. On the Piazza San Domenico, the Baroque plague column supports the statue of Saint Domenicus, who showed mercy for the poor. The square is surrounded by several churches and is a popular meeting place. Appearing to be both severe and modest, this Gothic church was the largest monastery complex in Naples, the Santa Chiara. At the beginning of the 14th century, Robert of Anjou had this church built and his wife established a Clarice monastery here. The courtyard and cloister were added later. The Clarice used to walk the corridors in humble, pure faith until, in the 18th century, a major change occurred. Large, colourful majolica with playful motifs transformed the corridors into monastic places of contemplation. splendidly painted stone benches are ideal for meditation in the tranquil inner courtyard of the monastery. The Piazza Gesù Nuovo marks the end of the route through the ancient town. The unusual facade of the church of the same name surprises with its dark, tough stone. The square is dominated by a 40-metre-high obelisk. This Rococo work of art was created in 1747 with donations made by local people. The church's interior demonstrates with Baroque splendour the Neapolitan fixation with over-ornate decoration. Modernization and decay lie side by side. Next to the church is an entrance to the city's hidden underworld, Napoli Sotterranea, a subterranean system of tunnels and caves that was dug into the tuff in order to provide a water supply. In World War II, it acted as an air raid shelter. Until the mid-16th century, the Piazza Dante was situated outside the city until the city walls were rebuilt and expanded to Foro Carolino in the 18th century. Built in 1625, Porto Alba leads to a short road. Next, the Piazza Bellini with monuments, ancient brick walls and magnificent palaces. Today's underground also has much to offer, a metro with art. A number of the subway stations of Line 1 were supplemented with exhibition space for historic artwork. Various museums are nearby. Naples lives alongside the art of the ancient past just as much as with the modern art of today, represented by many of the city's artists. A successful symbiosis to the stations of the upper world. At the highest point of the city mound of Vomero is the spectacular Castel Sant'Elmo with its amazing views. A view of the Old Town and the Gulf, and in the background, Vesuvius. The massive fortifications were built under Spanish monarch Pedro de Toledo in the 14th century. The almost impenetrable fort was mainly used to command the city rather than for defense. Indeed, for many years, it was used as a prison. Pedro Scriba, a leading military architect of his time, created an hexagonal plan. Also on the Vomero is the former Carthusian monastery of San Martino, which has been converted into a museum. The place where monks once meditated and lived according to their rules of faith was secularized under Catholic rule. Naples has never been destroyed by either war or revolution, and therefore boasts a splendid blend of historical architectural styles. A piece of heaven that fell to earth. That's how the Neapolitans refer to their beautiful city and its surroundings.